about money. I said, you want to make money? The key to making money is serving the most amount of people. The more people you serve, the more money you make. Straight up. I said, look, people always say, athletes make so much money. Doctors should make more money than athletes. But I'm like, wait, how many patients you got? How many patients you got? The doctor got 30 patients. Well, you got 30 patient money. But how many people are enjoying watching LeBron play?
True.
Hundreds of millions. Mm-hmm. So he gets hundreds of millions of dollars. I said, dude, don't ever get it twisted. You serve more people, you get more props, you get more money. And I decided I was going to serve more people in everything I did. I remember doing Malibu's Most Wanted. And I remember being on the set and I said, I'm gonna play this character. His name is 8 Ball, but I'm gonna play him like he's real. And I started doing stuff and the director was like, hey, put the camera on that dude right there. And this is the thing. And this is really tricky, and I gotta let everybody know this. It can get you in trouble. Because people go, he's showing out. Why you trying to make us look bad? You know how many times I heard that? People always was like, oh, Mr. Overdo it. Oh, you gonna sweep the whole place. Wow. Okay, Mr. And see, and that's what you gotta resist. That's what you gotta resist. I found a long time ago, like, whatever God says about you, and if you repeat it, it sounds very narcissistic. But whatever Satan says about you, and you repeat it, it sounds very realistic. And you have to decide, whoa, am I gonna be real? Or am I gonna do what God said? Like, do everything I can. And that's a tricky thing, because you get tricked into it. You get oh yeah, you showing out, yeah. But I realized, no, the best thing I can do for the whole world is to make the most of Terry Crews. Best thing I can do for everybody is work out 2 hours a day. That's it. Because all I do is work on me. Best thing I can do for everybody on that set, study my lines. Know what I'm doing. Be prepared. Be ready. Always focused. Best thing. And all of a sudden, nobody got to worry about you. Nobody worry about you. Mm-hmm. This is the thing. And back in the NFL, they had to worry about me a little bit. And that's the lesson I learned. I said, nope, you ain't never got to worry about me. I'm coming. I'm watching. I'm seeing. And I'm focused. And it's fun. And then all of a sudden you can have fun.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But boy, just warning that when you do that, and that's one thing too, I had to move on because I had to realize I had a message on my message machine. I said, hey, this is Terry Crews. I'm taking it to the next level and I'm not going back. Leave a message. And all the people who was like, where you going? Where you going? Oh, okay. Oh, not. Them the cats didn't get my new number. Because I realized, I said, man, I need a new circle. And the circle that will get me there has got to be the ones that are happy I'm getting moved up here. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And anybody that got crazy, I mean, it's funny because me and my father had a lot of issues, man. I mean, again, he used to beat my mom. He used to do all this crazy stuff. And then he called me up before I get on AGT and cussed me out. You ain't nothing. This and I remember just going.
Was he drinking?
Yeah.
Tea?
Yeah.
And so he got like this when he was drinking.
Yeah, that's it. I mean.
Is that why you don't drink?
That's why I don't drink. I watched my father get drunk and he beat up my mom. That was the earliest memory, man, watching him knock my mother out.
So he calls you up before you go on AGTV and he's saying, what's he saying to you?
He's cussing me out.
Okay.
It's like, you ain't shit.
Where did this come from?
I don't know. It's one of them things where you think you big and stuff, and I'm going, wow. And it got to a time where I actually had to change my number. And the only way I would communicate with him was through someone else. Mm-hmm. Is he all right? Okay, cool. But that stuff deep, man. Mm-hmm. And it was easier to get rid of friends that way, where you go, hey, I can move on. Or so-called friends, you realize, that's not a friend anymore. But it's a whole nother thing when it's like your father.
Right.
And my mom passed away a few years ago. So now it's just him. But it's one of those things where I realize what it is. It's okay. He's jealous. He's angry. But that's okay.
Have you and he always had this contentious relationship?
Yeah. Yeah.
Your earliest memories?
Earliest. I remember, we were driving. He was driving me, picked me up from practice because he didn't want to pick me up from practice. He's like, oh man, I'm wasting my time. I got to go do this. Because he didn't like sports. And he said, I said, man, I'm going to make it in the NFL. He said, yeah, only 1 in a million make it in the NFL. Only 1 in a million. I said, I'm 1 in a million. I looked him dead in the car. I probably was 12. I said, I'm 1 in a million. He was like, you got to understand, I'll never forget this. Mm-hmm. These are moments make me who I am. And I said, man. And I remember those conversations. And I know that. Even as I walk around this town, I am 1 in a million.
As you've gotten older, have you ever tried to sit down and have a conversation with your father? Have you ever guys have thought about going to therapy together and try to get to the root? You're 55. I understand you have a very contentious relationship, but you only get one.
Yeah.
And I know sometimes you probably think you don't miss him because you have the opportunity to pick up the phone and call him. But T, there might be one day that you don't have an opportunity to talk to him.
I know. And, that might be, I'll be honest with you, man, that might be the reason we sitting here today. Just talking about this is making me realize we got to find a way to make this work.
Yeah.
We got to find a way. I mean, and it's wild because I tried. I call and then, you find out he's drinking, because he'll lie. I ain't drinking, and then he cut.
But all the signs that he is drinking.
All the signs, you know what I mean? Everything. Because he's a whole different person when he's not.
Right.
So.
Do you have brothers and sisters?
Yes, I have an older brother, a younger sister. Mm-hmm. And there's the guy that I was going in between.
What's their relationship like with your father? Or is it just you?
No, it's
everybody.
I mean, yeah, because
but like you said,
everybody was
drinking.
Everybody was there when he was beating my mother.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So it makes it very, very difficult. And when she passed, that was a really, really hard time. Because that's the thing, man. It's almost like, why didn't it should have been you. Right. You beating her and she just internalizing all that. She got sick and that was it. And it's like, man, but it's one of those things, I think if he was willing, and we just got to find out if he would be willing. I have to find out if he'd be willing to do that. So we could all sit down together.
Yeah, have you ever had a conversation with him like, Dad, why you treat Mom like this? Why did you do some of the things that you did?
You're talking to a person who would literally be like, one thing he says, I didn't beat her that bad.
That bad?
Bruh, when you're talking those kind of words, you're like, man, what are you saying? I didn't beat her that bad. You're talking to her son. And he's never been able to acknowledge that. And what's happened, this is a problem, man. Listen, and this is one thing I realized, that if you don't deal with these things early or where you're at, they harden.
Mm-hmm.
The Bible talks about hardening your heart. And there's a point where you feel like, well, I'm good no matter what.
Want to join Club Shay Shay? Become an official member by hitting that subscribe button, where you never know who's going to be joining us for drinks and conversation. Don't be late to the party because we like to do something before 2 something.